Hey everyone, it's Darren Kaplan. Remember, you're watching Can Your Banker Do This podcast. It's also a video cast here. I'm here with Charles Weinraub. Charles, tell everybody how they can reach you.
Charles Weinraub, aka the Handsome Homebuyer, aka Captain Permit, on every platform there is out there. Instagram, handsome_homebuyer, Captain_Permit on YouTube. Hopefully you could post that thing. I don't know shit about tech, but hopefully you can figure it out and post it up there. Charles Weinraub on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Will the real estate market bounce back when all this is over?
I think the real estate market will bounce back, but it's certain segments of the real estate market. So when I think about Corona, I think that for the most part, Corona is fucking up a lot of shit, right? But for the most part, Corona is putting the final nail in the coffin of many things that were already on their way out.
True.
So, luxury, mid-tier to luxury, like $1 million+ homes. I never messed with that over the last 2 years. Over the last 18 months, I was only doing houses in first-time home buyer, so sub 550 in Nassau, sub 450 in Suffolk, because I felt the shift. It's just trends, the tax laws, kids moving out, aging population. Like, you feel all this stuff. So people don't want to buy a house in Old Brookville where the taxes are $50,000. That market's going to get even more hurt. Retail was dying. Corona, basically put the final nail in the coffin there, or it's gonna force business owners what they need to do, which is reinvent the way that they do business. Mm-hmm. So I love stuff like this because it forces change. And change usually doesn't happen unless you go through some very strenuous, gut-wrenching, emotional or financial event, right? Just think about it. You have a terrible break. You're like cruising along. You have a horrible breakup. You have a horrible divorce, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Usually great things come on the other side of that. So as a real estate investor, when I'm looking at retail, and I buy some retail stuff, but only if I can move it to medical or something like that.
That makes sense.
Straight up retail, I don't like. But there's a need for retail, but as a landlord, you have to wait for the business owners to basically, to reinvent themselves.
Right.
They have to totally change their business models.
Especially now, like they're again, what I said before was that the owners now, they're going to be struggling, and I think they're going to struggle for a long time, and they're working. Like, I went into Value Drugs the other day, right? I don't know, Value Drugs? Have you heard of that chain? So the owner, Jimmy, right? He drives a Maserati. No bullshit. It's a big company. They're infamous here in Huntington. They own 2 of them, right? He's stocking the shelves. Jimmy drives a Maserati, who's the owner of Value Drugs, is stocking the shelves. I'm not saying that he shouldn't do that, but he shouldn't do that. Like, there should be other people doing that in his company, but he can't, because he can't have that many people working, and the people that are working are where? They're at the register, right? So.
Yeah, I don't think it could be a combination. I don't think we can look at that case specifically, because you don't know. Like, there's a lot of cases in businesses where employees don't want to come to work right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, there's a lot of cases where there's that, but
good luck getting them back too. How about the ones that are making double pay right now and they're not going to want to work?
So people just look at the negative. They're like, you know what? The economy's going to shit, this, that, the other thing. But certain things, when one door closes, another door opens. So you have retail that you just have to be willing to change. You have retail that's going to shit. But Amazon just hired like 300,000 people.
It's crazy.
I have friends that have businesses that are destroying it right now. My buddy owns Center Cuts, and Center Cuts is a high-end butcher in Roslyn. This guy is running 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, sending people out to the Hamptons, all over the place. He is making in one day what he used to make in 1 week.
Wow, so good for him.
You just have to be willing to. I have another buddy who owns a commercial cleaning company. He's destroying it right now.
Interesting.
So you just have to innovate.
You're right.
There's the 2 months that everybody's out of business, it's a blip. Once we go back to it, you might have to change. Like, JCPenney's filed for bankruptcy. Bro, JCPenney's was about to go out of business fucking 2 years ago.
No, you're right. No, I don't disagree with you. So in 2008, we got we got hit with the whole economy, right? It was a disaster. And when we literally had no more funding. It was just like we walked in one day and funding was over. It was just like, you're not getting your paycheck. We didn't fund. It was completely different. Okay. There was no like, we're getting money from the bank, don't worry, or the government, there's stimulus. It was just no more funding. Just, you might as well just pack your shit and leave. There was nothing to do. Today's time is a little different, but one thing I did was I planned for this day. We didn't like go out and buy the same shit and treat ourselves the same way. You know, yeah, I drove Land Rovers and Porsches and Mercedes and BMWs, bro. I had a 5,000 square foot home in Florida. Like, I just knew I wasn't going to live like that anymore. In 2008, I owned 12 houses. I had a bankruptcy in 2014 for $3 million. Okay, so you need to learn from your mistakes, right? And that was probably one of my biggest. I just went and bought and bought and bought and bought and bought. And I said to myself, forget about this. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to be a landlord. Yeah. I don't want to buy.
I mean, dude, and this is like the philosophical debate that my girlfriend and I have all the time. I don't own shit that doesn't make me money. It's that right. Simple. If it does not make me money, I don't own it. I have a car lease that's $260 a month. I live in my girlfriend's house. It's her freaking house. I would move back in with my parents tomorrow if I could. You know, I have like $50 worth of Gap clothes that I bought on sale that I'm wearing.
I heard about that one. Yep.
You know, I mean, it's the truth. It's literally the truth right now. I'm wearing sneakers that she bought me. I don't care. I have a ton of rental properties. Most of them are government subsidized Section 8 or CDC type of properties. And I don't need to impress anybody. I don't give a shit.
You're right.
And, you know, she wants a house and this and that. I'm like, I don't, because it is statistically proven. It is going to happen that shit is going to go bad. Yep. And unless you have such an insane amount of fuck you money coming in the door,
but you're always going to have cutbacks when that happens. So in 2008, I had $50,000 a month in bills.
Okay.
Today I have $5.
That's what I'm saying. So like, but for my position, let's say, you know, okay, let's say I have 150 Section 8 rental units. At that point, if I wanted to carry a mortgage or whatever, because I know I'm getting X amount of dollars every month, it's a very low risk. But while you're building it, you don't want to have that, you know, weight on your back. You don't want to be dragging those big mortgage payments and this and that. Dude, this is part of the reason why I didn't have kids or get married or anything, because I didn't want the financial responsibility and just the overall responsibility when I was trying to build my future.
I totally get that. And I got out early. I remember I was in the working force at 20. I worked with Global. They were all going to the bar and stuff. I wasn't even of age yet. Like, they were all hanging out, man. I wasn't even at that age. You know, I turned 21 at Global. But it's definitely a different mix. When I started working at Global, I started in 2000. Then we had 9/11. Okay. Then right after 9/11, we had a war. Then right after that, we had the internet boom. Then after that, we had 2008 hit, 2007 hit, you know. So it's not that I saw this coming, but when I was on Billy's show in January and he invited me, I think it was like January 10th, I was on my way going to South Carolina, like getting out of here, moving, homeschooling my kids, going to live in an area that it's nice. I can get a decent house in a decent community with some land and straight up homeschooling my kids from there, you know, and then working my way out of being economy proof, being recession proof. And I spoke about this on the show, and I said, you have to figure out in life how to become recession proof and economy proof, because if you can't, you'll never make it, you'll never be successful, and you'll never be happy, because that always happens. Like you said, you have 100 years of study that you can go back to. Yeah,
it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and you really have to be prepared for that. But you know, I think there's a couple problems that most people have. A, people really give a shit about what other people think, which is a real problem. People go around buying all kinds of crap to impress people that they don't even give a shit about. So
I love that you said that.
They don't teach you how to do it. So the big problem is people start making money and then they have absolutely no idea what to do with it. So they're like, oh, I want this, I want that. You know, society and big business is cramming all this shit buy down your throat. So people end up going out and spending money on crap they don't need to impress people that they don't give a shit about.
Or in my situation, when I started making money, I bought all those things that I never was able to afford. Like straight up, you know, I went out. The first thing I bought was a nice car, right? I mean, everybody had to have the nice car because you knew you were making money, right? You needed to make sure everybody else knew you're making money, right? That was a big ego thing. And then I started buying baseball cards up. You got to see my garage, man. It's filled to the tops with baseball cards, stacks of cards. I just went out and bought autographs. I lived like a kid for so long with that money, trying not just to impress. That was definitely part of it, man. But when you get hit, man, and you get knocked the fuck down, and you have that bankruptcy or you have that big thing in your life that really turns you around, and I'm not saying everybody has it, but sometimes it happens, and it happens sooner than later to other people. And for me, it was detrimental when the market crashed, bro. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know, you know, and I'm sure a lot of other guys felt the same way. And beyond recreating yourself, because that's kind of what we're doing here too now with the social distancing and everything. Meetings will never be the same. This is way better anyway, doing it this way rather than me having to meet you for coffee. Not that I wouldn't love to meet you and give you a hug, man, don't get me wrong, but at the same time it gives us that ability to do more things, right, and function a little bit better too. You guys are watching my podcast here, Can Your Banker Do This? Remember, you can always find me at mrmortgageguru.com or call me at 844-772-LOAN. I'm here with Charles Weinraub. Charles, why don't you tell everybody how they could reach you?
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Charles, a.k.a. the Handsome Homebuyer, a.k.a. Captain Permit, Instagram, handsome_homebuyer, Captain_permit, Charles Weinraub, all the rest of the platforms. Check out the YouTube channel. Tons of free education, tons of knowledge dropping every day.
There you go. Check out his YouTube channel for sure. He's got a ton of content on there. Educate, motivate, inform. Check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Mr. Mortgage Guru. Thank you, everyone.